The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music and the industry, and all other aspects related to rock and heavy metal. This episode we are going to do a bit of a prediction episode of everything that we think might happen in 2026. Not just for Download, we're going to look at all of the regular festivals that Simon will go to mostly, not just because I don't do anything other than Download. We'll look at all of the big ones that we normally talk about, plus one more. Enough from me. I am Adam, and as always, I'm here with Simon. How you doing, my man?
Hello, and good podcast day to you, sir. How are you?
Good podcast day. I'm good. Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a chat before recording, as per usual, and every single time I'm like, we get halfway through and I'm like, did we talk about that before the episode or or just after we started? I can't remember, but it's Cody's first birthday tomorrow.
It is, yes.
It's insane.
it's I still can't even believe I have a kid, let alone a kid that's coming up for 1 year old. That is still just mind-blowing to me. My brain still hasn't caught up to the events of the last year, even the last 2 years, when Becky was pregnant and everything. I've never fully adapted to everything. I kind of feel like I'm still in a dream. I'm going to wake up in a minute. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. That's because you're the man of the relationship, probably. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm sure she's coped with everything already, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, cool. I want to say congratulations. It's Cody's doing, but I suppose you're the one who's kept him alive for a year. So yeah, congratulations.
I still
on a year.
Actually, you just said that, right? I still say that to people that is the basis for me being a successful parent. Is I always say that my friend Adam said to me, as long as your children are alive, you're doing a good job. And I was like, I'm going to live by this. So those words that you said will always stick with me.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard job. It's a hard life once you have kids, and I think I'm kind of getting philosophical here, I guess, but I think it's kind of easy for people to see all these things that are online, all these stories about how people are so successful and their life's going really well, and sort of get down about it, and it's not always like that. Whatever you see on the internet is not how it is generally.
No.
Not that I think that you are the kind of person who would fall for all of that kind of stuff, but yeah, sometimes you've got to take a step back and go, do you know what? We're doing all right.
I think
alive.
So.
We're doing all right.
I think people are a lot wealthier in life than social media would have them think that they are, definitely. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of social media, I almost took myself off of Facebook again the other day. I've had enough of it. It's
I don't know
me.
Who's annoyed you now. What's happened?
Mark Zuckerberg. It's just a non-ending, non-stop advert, and we all know this. But I was looking. I was like, I haven't seen anything interesting for ages. And I sort of was consciously paying attention then, and I must have scrolled through about 20 posts with only seeing adverts or people that Facebook thinks I might want to follow with a video of some stupid shit, and all the videos are fake now. And I was thinking, like, if you do come across an interesting looking video, halfway through it cuts to a person narrating what's happened or, reacting. And it's like, there is nothing genuine, nothing interesting on there anymore. Literally the only reason why I stayed on there is because I'm going to be wanting to post about the D&D thing once we get it up and going in a few weeks.
See, everyone's trying to shill something, aren't they, Ad?
Yeah. But I mean, I came off of it for a good year and a half, a few years back. And and it was great. Well, I did get addicted to Reddit. I think I've said this before.
Yeah, but Reddit is well, I mean, it's a deep hole you can go into, but Reddit has some interesting stuff on it, some really fucking interesting stuff on it. I mean, also most social media does, but I mean, there is a lot of you have to sift through the absolute shite that's out there now to get to anything good. But there's still good stuff out there. But yeah, like you said, it is it's just a minefield now. It really is. Every time I go on, I mean, after about a minute, I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate just me this. Then. No. I hate it. I hate that I even do it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate that I feel like I need to.
We're voluntarily putting ourselves on the app to have a look at all the adverts to earn money to Mark Zuckerberg.
No one is more disgusted at me than myself, believe me.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So but I'm with you.
Yeah. But we did briefly touch on AI before as well, and that's another thing that's really bad on all social media. Even Reddit now is filled with bots for people pushing their own thing, and I think it's way worse than most people can imagine. But I heard something interesting a week or so ago from Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it gave me a little bit of hope. He said AI is going to get to a point where nobody knows what is real and what is fake. But even the biggest conspiracy theorists are going to start to question what they're seeing online. And when that happens, the internet's going to go back to being cat pictures and cat videos. And I was like, he's probably not far wrong there.
I like this, like a hard reset button.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah.
Is this like this kind of reminds me of, in the Matrix, sorry, spoilers ahead. If you don't want to know what happens in the Matrix films, you haven't seen them, just get out now. Where the architect tells Neo that he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only guy who could change stuff with the Matrix. And then your head was like, oh shit, people have done this before. And they said, it's just a process that repeats over and over again. Someone comes in, frees loads of people, does that, they die, it all comes back, and it just, life just keeps going in a circle every time. That's what that reminds me of. The internet's just going to keep going back and forward
full
and
circle.
Back and forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Interesting. I didn't know the storyline of The Matrix when I first watched it. I must have been very young. I was when I watched it. But yeah, it's only since seeing people talking about it online and videos about it, I actually understand the story. So I do actually want to go back and watch that again properly to see it for what it actually is, and not just see the cool fighting scenes and not giving a shit about all the dialogue in between.
Yeah, it's good. I think it definitely has its... I mean, I think the first one obviously is one of the greatest films ever made, science fiction wise. And the other two, I think the third one's better than the second one. Everyone disagrees with me on that, but I think so. But there's some good philosophical stuff in there. Stuff that... Yeah. It's not... It is they are action sci-fi films, but if you dig a little deeper, there's some really interesting stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to watch them again. We'll do that for our Patreon as well. When we start watching films.
Oh, baby, that would be lovely jubbly, mate.
Good idea. Cool. I mean, we've literally just started rambling. We didn't talk about how our weeks have been like we normally do. Was there what did we say anything else that we would talk about in the episode quickly before?
No, not that I can remember.
Well, we did actually briefly talk about our weeks, and honestly, nothing too interesting between the two of us, apart from someone being sick, but you don't want to hear about that. So we will jump straight into the episode then and talk about our predictions for, well, I don't really have any predictions, not for download at least anyway, because you can't predict it, but that's what we're going to call it for now anyway. Our predictions for next year, I'll start, I think, downloading? Downloading? I think headlining Bloodstock is probably going to be Slaughter to Prevail, Judas Priest, and Lamb of God.
I think you could be right there, I think there's a good possibility of those three headlining, I reckon. I bet you could even guess some of the undercard, couldn't you, I reckon?
Probably could. I think we talked about that, didn't we? You talked about it. There was actually a few that I like the look of on the undercard there. Honestly, they're all gone though. When you talked about it last time, I was thinking there's some good ones for me, but now they've just completely gone again. Oh, I think of Mice and Men, I like a few of their songs.
Yeah, Mice and Men were on there. I think North Lane were on there, weren't they? I said, what did I say? I said Life of Agony, Orbit Culture. There was a few others. That was good. Like, it's good. Yeah. It looks decent. Yeah.
But obviously, I'm messing around. But there is another headliner that they're going to announce. Have they said when they're going to announce it yet? September, they said. Sometime in September.
I don't remember them saying when it was going to be, but I just know there's going to be one. I mean, I didn't want to write on their page just to say download 2023 ? 4 days of music, but but it is your anniversary, and I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's a good idea for festivals to follow. So it's kind of being a bit of a copycat, but it's also like fuck it because it's going to be good.
Well, I mean, download sold out partly because of it. So I mean, Bloodstock's selling out no matter what now anyway.
We said that last time. I think we're both in agreement with that. It doesn't matter what the lineup is. Bloodstock's going to almost sell out now because of all the bloody downloaders, isn't it? Hey.
But do you have any predictions of who the Thursday night headliner might be?
I do. I've got 3 predictions and then 1 prediction that it could be multiple bands. It will make sense in a second.
Okay.
So this will make sense. But also, we'll get to download, but 2 of them on here I think could also play at download, or they could be headliners for, but I'll get to what I'm doing. So my first prediction, because one of the biggest news to come out, fuck me, Simon. One of the biggest pieces of news, there you go, use the King's English, to come out in the last few weeks is Megadeth apparently are ending and doing one last album. They've headlined Bloodstock before, obviously. They've played Download loads as well. I'm not saying they're going to headline Download, but possible headliners for Bloodstock, yes. I don't know what their plans are tour-wise or anything, if any of that's come out. And possibly second stage headliners for Download as well, ?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. Yeah, when they first announced it, my first thought was Halloween, and I'm not sure if that's just because it's a hope.
I did hear people saying that, and I did think of you. I said, oh my fuck, if we're ever going to get Adam to a fucking Bloodstock, if Halloween headline, oh my God, he has to come.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I said it in the last episode, but if they announced Halloween in that announcement at Bloodstock, I would have bought a ticket there and then.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as I possibly could. Because I've still never seen Halloween. I know they are touring over here. They are playing. It might be just London. And I'm not going to go to London to watch them. A trip to a gig in London is going to cost at least £200 plus the tickets.
I feel you.
So,
I feel yeah.
Like, I ain't doing that. But yeah, if it was Bloodstock, if it's for the weekend, if it's for a festival, then absolutely. And if they are announced, I will try my down hardest to get a ticket, even though they've got like 5% of their tickets left or something stupid at the minute, haven't they?
They'll release more. I don't think this is all of the tickets. Later in the year or early next year, there'll be another flock of tickets. I can almost guarantee that. There's no way that they've given all of their tickets space already. I don't think that they would have done that. I think they're saying at the moment 100%, kind of like Download do when they're like, oh, there's a restricted amount of tickets left. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's another 1,000 tickets. Where the fuck have these appeared out of thin air? You see the bollocks Download are coming up with now as well. We're all 5%. We only got 5% left for tickets, man. Better get tickets soon. Like, fuck you. Like, fuck you sold all those tickets.
The last 1,000 early bird tickets, wasn't it? Which is, don't they normally stop the early bird when they announce the lineup as well? I want to say they do. Yeah,
I don't know when. They stop it at some point, but I never get the early bird, so I don't really pay any attention to them for Bloodstock or for... This is the first time I've bought a Bloodstock ticket early bird. Normally I would do the payment scheme or something else, but I don't really pay attention to any sort of early bird tickets. But I'm friends with Ben Chids, who gets me excited about stuff. So I buy things because of him. If he lived here, I would be a very poor man if he lived close to me. I can assure you of that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think, no, I agree with you there. It's like when we had Harry White on, and he was saying, like, people don't book tickets early. You know, he waits for the last, was it 2 weeks or 2 months? He said, I can't remember. It could have been 2 weeks.
I can't remember what he said, but it was definitely way closer than, you know, like he said, you know, imagine 10 of those months just shitting yourself that no one's bought tickets.
Yeah.
You know, it must be nerve-wracking.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's obviously somebody's job at Download to try and generate ticket sales earlier than normal. But yeah, I don't know. But what were we talking about anyway? Bloodstock. Yes. Sorry.
We've gone off on a tangent again. Halloween and Megadeth we were talking about.
Halloween and Megadeth, yeah. Yeah, yeah, broken me. I can't remember if I said. I definitely thought Megadeth as well when they first announced that they were going to add a headliner for the second day. I think they said as well it's going to be one headliner and possibly one or two other bands underneath them as well.
Yeah, that'll be
which is what we were saying Download should have done for their anniversary. Don't have it a full day's worth of music.
Yeah,
have like 3 or 4 bands on the main stage. That's it.
Yeah. I think that is a better idea. Gives everyone time to still enjoy the day, but then obviously get really excited about the last like 3 bands. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think Megadeth is a big possibility, and the two were sort of announced around the same time as well. It's like Megadeth all of a sudden said they were ending, and then literally not long after, you know, within a week's time, Bloodstock were like, "Oh, by the way, we're doing a 4th headliner." Yeah. So I don't know whether that was out of consequence. It was built rather than actually them something they wanted to do. Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, we'll see. We'll see.
One thing we've talked about a lot, is I mean, I'm not sure. I assume have Megadeth announced the dates they're playing over here for their last.
I can't remember what the dates were. I don't know. They just said last album. I can't remember what the dates were.
Yeah, but we've obviously talked about how bands don't like or don't really want to play festivals when they've got a tour going on as well. Mm-hmm. And I think festivals don't like it either. They want to generate more money. They don't want people to be able to go and pay and see a band they want on their own tour instead of going to the festival. But the other way around as well. You know, if say exactly what I just said about Halloween. I'm not interested in going to their own show, but I would go and see them at a festival. So if Megadeth don't play festivals, they'll generate more sales on their own tour.
Yes. Yeah, I suppose it all depends as well what the pay for playing these festivals is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's about these bands playing, but it is about money as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. What other predictions do you have?
I have Pantera. I thought they would be announced within the first 3. I thought, as soon as I saw that Lamb of God come up, I thought they're going to put Pantera on. They're going to go massive for this anniversary. And obviously that didn't come to fruition, but I still think Pantera is a possibility. Because now, you know, it's Pantera, but it's not Pantera. If it was original Pantera, I don't think Bloodstock could ever get near them to headline. But because it's Pantera of now, I think it's likely that they could.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah. And go on.
I could say pretty much we had a very similar conversation, but not in this same way. A lot of people that have headlined Download second stage recently have headlined Bloodstock. Or maybe true. Not a lot of them, but yeah, so it seems like Bloodstock's headliner is around the same kind of level, or I don't know what the right word would be to use other than level. And Pantera obviously. I mean,
it's about the same size as the second stage at Download. You know, like that sort of crowd and that sort of stage almost. So I think that is a really good litmus test for a band to headline Bloodstock, or a sub headliner, or a big band at Download, but not a headliner necessarily. So yeah, I think that is probably a good test of. And all of these bands I'm naming now have all headlined the second stage at Download. So so you're correct in that. Yeah. And the next one would be Slayer.
Yeah,
because they're on this big comeback thing, which I like Slayer a hell of a lot, but I also hate when bands say they're going away and they come back. So as much as I love them, I also kind of fucking hate them for it at the same time. Because if you tell everyone it's your last show and you do your last show, it should be your last show. And do you know what? Say what you will about Kiss, right? But they've done the farewell tour. Okay, the farewell tour lasted for 5 years, but they are no longer playing shows. So,
yeah,
you know, and I don't think that they would ever come back at this point. So I'm a little bit pissed off at Slayer, but also happy because I will get to see Slayer again at some point, possibly. So, yeah.
So you just have to catch up then. Yeah, happy, yeah. I can't say I've ever really paid too much attention to Slayer and what they're doing. The only thing I knew was that Kerry King started his own band and Slayer were not a band at the time. And I mean, I feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this. But yeah, I just kind of assumed that Slayer got back together because they were pissed off with Kerry King. And they were like, oh, we don't want him to do his own thing.
I mean,
like, we're going back out.
Nah, people could go off. You know, like Dave Lombardo's always drumming for some fucking idiot at some point. Like they were always doing their own stuff in between other stuff. So I don't think they're not fucking Metallica in 2003. Sorry, Jason, okay. you can't go and do your own small band that's not going to make a dent in Metallica. Also, you're fired from the band.
Cool. Okay, but that's how I kind of saw it in a humorful. Is that the right word? That's probably not even a word. A humoured way at the time. It was like, okay,
yeah,
they don't like Kerry King.
They were done when Kerry King was just playing Download. I mean, Slayer were done in 2019, so they were done. They should be done. They shouldn't be coming back, really.
Yeah.
But listen, if Slayer got announced as the fourth headliner, I would be absolutely over the moon. I would fucking awesome. I would be really happy with that.
Yeah, cool. Who else you got?
Well, this is just my prediction: Megadeth, Pantera, or Slayer, or I've put in brackets someone very Bloodstock. So Amon Amarth, Sabaton.
I was about to say Sabaton.
Someone that either sings or does something embarrassing.
What?
You know, like, I don't know, I'm joking, but you guys know how I feel. It's, you know, your Vikings or your someone, you know, even more embarrassing, people that will be rowing in the crowd. You know, just any of that sort of Bloodstock stuff that they love at Bloodstock, you know, that us downloaders don't like. That any of those bands, I don't even know half of them, but any of those bands.
Yeah. Well, when you said that, Windrose came to mind, but I don't actually know how big they are.
I've never even heard of that band.
They do Diggy Diggy Hole. They're all dwarf
what?
Vikings. You know, Diggy Diggy Hole. Okay, all right, never mind.
Blind Guardian. That's a cheesy rock band, right? I don't know how big they are. I think they were really big back in the day. I don't know if they even exist anymore. But yeah, I don't know about that world. That's not one of my worlds. So, it will either be something really, really metal or something very Bloodstock metal. That's just my prediction for the fourth headliner. Or they could go completely left field to what some people are saying, to another band that I predicted to play Download, and they could get another new headliner and another new band and say, let's just get Malevolence to headline, take a gamble.
Yeah. I think Stu's been saying that recently as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, so that could be a possibility, but I'm also predicting that Malevolence will play Download in some capacity. To where, I have no idea, but you know, with the new album, they're going to want to get going again, and as history has shown, they love playing festivals. So yeah, I think they're a possibility for Download, definitely.
Have you got any more?
That was it for the headliners. Cool. Yeah, it's just because you know, it's interesting that they've added the fourth day and no one knew about it and no one predicted it. So where it come from, who the fuck knows? So it'll be interesting to see who they get.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really have too many predictions for Bloodstock other than the obvious ones you said. What I was going to do, although it doesn't really work for Bloodstock, was a lot of the other festivals I've like downloaded 10 years worth of their festival posters, so we can actually look back and try and make a prediction that way. It's not always going to work, but it would be interesting looking back anyway. But I don't think, Bloodstock didn't actually have them on their website. I was going to have to go to Wikipedia. But like I said, I don't think it will help with Bloodstock anyway, because it's the first time we've done a Thursday. So we can move on, if you like,
sure,
to somebody else. I think either Slam Dunk or 2000 Trees.
Well, the Trees one, some of the bands I'm predicting, because you can't predict the headliners for Trees. It's too random.
Right.
So I don't really know how I could even try to... I've got a few bands on the list for download when we get to it that I think will also be playing Trees, and I think one of them could headline. Two of them could headline, rather.
Well, that is where these posters come in handy then. So we can actually look back at who they had headline. So I'm pretty sure this is 2016, Refused and Twin Atlantic in 2016. Six played that year. Very big letters on there. First band you notice. Also a band called Yuck. And anyway, I could go on lots with these. 2017, Slaves and Lower Than Atlantis. 2018, At the Drive-In. Bloody hell. Oh, hang on. Did I miss any? Have they done it? I don't know how they've done this. 2016 is weird. Okay, Saturday, Friday, Thursday. Right, sorry, I got it wrong. Mallory Knox. 2017 was Mallory Knox. Nothing But Thieves, I assume, is the headliners there. Or it could be Def Havana. And then Saturday was Slaves or Lower Than Atlantis. They're both sort of the same size next to each other on the poster. 2018, Enter Shikari, Twin Atlantic, and At the Drive-In.
That was my first Trees.
Was it? At the Drive-In's a weird one. I don't really hear much from them
Shikari,
anymore.
I haven't really predicted Shikari for anything. I would love nothing more than Shikari to come back and headline Trees. I think that would be really great. Their stage show's fantastic. They're really great live. Trees is always a really rowdy audience as well, especially for a band like Shikari. So that'd go on the wish list for me for Trees. I would absolutely love Shikari to headline.
Yeah. Going off of this actually for the minute, I can't think of any festivals that have had Skindred headlining them. Any of these types of festivals, I bet they'd be a fantastic headliner. I've
literally got a section that just says, when are Skindred going to return to playing festivals? Like, when everyone took the piss out of it, but I'm kind of missing now not seeing Skindred on every poster.
Yeah. Similar with, we can talk about this again a bit later, but similar with me with System of a Down. I know I've gone back and forth lots of times with them, but I could happily see them as a headliner at Download again now. We'll talk about that when we get to Download. 2019 Trees, Def Havana, Yumi at 6, Frank Turner and the Sleeping Souls. 2022 this one, maybe they're not in the right order. 2022, Idols, Thrice and Jimmy.
No, there wasn't one in 2020 or 2021. So yeah, 2022 would have been the next Trees.
But yeah, the way they do these posters are weird, but I assume it was Idols, Thrice and Jimmy Eat Boring.
Yeah, that was the year when I saw my least favourite headliner of all time.
Yeah.
At any festival I've ever been to. I even liked Kneecap more than I liked Jimmy Eat World.
Did you?
Yeah, and that's saying something.
Yeah. That was 2022, Idols, Thrice, Jimmy Eat World. 2023, Frank Carr and the Rattlesnakes, Butterfly Valentine, Soft Play. See, some of these I'd never really heard of. Oh, Skindred sub-headline there. I'd never heard of Soft Play before this point.
Well, Soft Play were Slaves. They changed their name.
Headlined before. Yeah, actually, I remember you saying that now. And then 2024, Don Broco, The Chats, and the Gaslight Anthem. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of.
There hasn't really been too. Yeah, there haven't been too many repeats really since 2016 at Trees.
No. Obviously this year, 2025, Alexis on Fire, Taking Back Sunday, and Kneecap. So yeah, like you said, it's hard to predict. There's a lot of bands that I never ever heard of Kneecap before this year, which is weird. So yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to predict much for them apart from maybe Skindred. Who have you got in mind?
So, and I have these for download as well. So I got AFI because they're just releasing new music. Okay. They were actually down to headline the festival the year it didn't go ahead. And I was so happy because I'm such a massive AFI fan. I was like, fucking hell, AFI on that stage, this is going to be great. And then, what ruined it. So I've always got my fingers crossed for them to possibly come back and headline one day, which would be good. I've got, as a new headliner for them, probably one of the biggest pop punk bands. They're not really, they are poppy, they are punky, but they're not really pop punk. Turnstile. Okay. I think that Turnstile are massive. I think that they could easily headline Trees, and that day would sell out straight away as well.
Okay. Anybody else for 2000 Trees?
Yeah, I got Menzingers to come. I'm not sure if the Menzingers could headline Trees. I don't think they're of that status, but they could definitely, play. And again, Turnstile, Menzingers, and AFI could all play download as well. Like, they're all sort of releasing new music. They're all out there. They're all quite big bands. So as much as I'm saying that Turnstile and AFI could headline and Menzingers could play 2000 Trees, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of them on the 2026 download lineup as well.
Yeah. I just find it's really hard to predict download because there's always so many bands you've never heard of. You're like,
yeah.
Who are these? Yeah. Cool. Should we look at Slam Dunk?
Sure.
Yeah.
Slammy D.
Okay,
it depends, it's lineup permitting. If I line up and if I'm not busy that day, whether I'm always going to go to Slam Dunk. So we'll see for next year. If the lineup is killer, then it's a yes. If the lineup is not killer, then it's a, if my friends are going, then possibly I might.
Yeah, cool. But is it interesting with Slam Dunk? Like, I think I would enjoy most years there. But again, it's getting time off of work and getting there.
It's on a Saturday
and everything.
Why do you need time off work?
Because I work Saturdays.
Oh no, you do work Saturdays.
Some of us work Saturdays.
Yeah, some of you losers work Saturdays. Yeah,
prick. It's gonna be. This might be difficult to. Oh no, it's the same headliners, but across different days, isn't it? They just switch a bit like Reading and Leeds. Going back to 2016 again. So they've got Panic at the Disco, Of Mice and Men. I don't know how many stages you want me to do. Just do the top two, maybe.
Just do the top two. Yeah. We won't talk about the other ones. Could be anyone.
Panic at the Disco and Of Mice and Men. 2017, Enter Shikari. I have no idea who's headlining the next stage. That's really small. Can you zoom in? Oh, Boiling for Soup. It says Fireball Stage. That's why I couldn't read it. It's the sponsor. Boiling for Soup, Neck Deep. See, that's actually a really good lineup. Boiling for Soup, Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish, Goldfinger. That's all of the ska bands that you want to see.
There you go.
Zebrahead. Oh my God, that was such a good. We need to do this. We need to have a real big deep dive. And we said actually we might do this for a live stream for charity or something. But yeah, we should look back at some of these old ones. Let's keep going. Sorry. 2018, I assume this one is, if I can see it on here somewhere. Good Charlotte and Jimmy Eat Boring.
Jesus.
2019, is this? Yeah, 2019, All Time Low, No Effects, and Bullet for My Valentine. I saw it earlier, Story of the Year. I didn't think they played over here for many, many years. Could have seen them. But this was before the podcast. This was before I was looking into anything like this.
That's true.
So, and I think the internet has changed now. These kind of things are shoved down your throat, whether you like it or not now. Don't think it was so much at the time. 2020, if it happened. No, 2021, Don Broco, No Effects. Wasn't that? Didn't they both headline? They both headlined Slam Dunk at one point. Not Slam Dunk, 2000 Trees.
No Effects haven't, but Don Broco have, yeah.
Okay. 2022, Sum 41, Alexis on Fire, Neck Deep. 2023, Enter Shikari, The Offspring. I've seen Creeper on these a lot.
Yeah, it would have been on there a lot.
24, You Me at 6 and I Prevail. And this year, Alkaline Trio, Electric Callboy. I assume that was the headliners. But yeah, so It's something I can actually help with talking about these, because I know a lot of these old pop punky ska bands. Although I'm not up with who's actually bringing albums out and things like that to be able to predict who's gonna play. But I think I've heard a lot of people saying that a Good Charlotte getting back together or touring again.
I didn't even know they broke up, so I have no idea.
Well, I think they just stopped doing stuff to do like they had like a recording studio or record label or something. I believe they're bringing another album out and touring again. They may not have stopped. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe my information is wrong there.
No, you could be right. The last time I remember hearing about them was a few years ago, so you could be right on that one. And again, like a possibility. They're a huge band, and as we know, bands from that era at the moment seem to be the biggest bands about because of nostalgia, and all of the new kids are discovering them, and all of us who listen to them are still going to see them. Well, not all of us, but a lot of the population are. So yeah, I think that any bands from that era now have possibilities of headlining festivals, any of them, because they were so big. So Good Charlotte might be a good shout for headlining Slam Dunk next year.
But I mean, if they have been away and are coming back, that is another band from that era that Download might try to get to have on there to do the secret acoustic sets. So who knows? Have you got any predictions at all, or wants?
Again, it's kind of like it's like trees for me. This one, it's quite hard to predict. Like some of the headliners they've had, some of those bands probably wouldn't do it now, or aren't together, or So it's difficult. And I like the pop punk world isn't my world. It never really has been. I've dabbled in it from time to time, picked out bands that I really like, but it's not my zone. So I'm sure someone more in that lane of that ilk could tell us who's most likely to headline. But again, I always look at that as like a bonus festival. I look and I go, if there is at least 5 bands on this lineup that I really like, then I'll go. But if it's less than that, then it's kind of I could miss it and not really. I mean, I don't feel any FOMO missing festivals anymore, but I don't feel anything about missing out on it. So, but it's another one for you. I mean, in the next few years, you should at least get yourself to one Bloodstock, one Trees, and Slam Dunk for the day. I think that you keep talking about going to these festivals. I think at some point you really need to get yourself to one of them, even if it is just Slam Dunk for the day. Yeah,
definitely. I think I do as well. And I mean, I always want to. I would have loved to go to Bloodstock this year, but it's getting time of work. Luckily, the kids are getting a bit older now, and they went back to school yesterday. Like the last 6 weeks have just flown by. So within the next few years, they'll make friends, and there'll be those times where they're staying out for like a week around a friend's house. I did that loads when I was a kid. Like my parents didn't know where I was between the years like 2000 and 2005. So it's never there. Maybe a bit longer. So the easier times are coming for me, is what I can say. Hopefully. Although I have heard people say it only gets worse, only gets harder, no matter what. But going back to this, like we do need to do a deep dive into some of these years. Slam Dunk would be an amazing festival for me. I would love it. So many bands that I would really like. Like Newfound Glory this year. I don't think I've ever seen Newfound Glory at all. Maybe, no, I don't think I have. But they actually have a lot of heavier bands on, looking at some of these.
They do, yeah.
Maybe
they try and balance it some years.
Yeah, not necessarily this year. Let's go back to one before. Malevolence headline one of the smaller stages.
Yeah.
I said a minute ago, didn't I? Creeper, I've seen them on here a lot. Would you say they're big? A lot of people like Creeper. Are they big enough to headline?
No. No, they could do a. I think once the new album comes out, depending on how big it was. I mean, the last one was, of critical acclaim. I don't know how much it done in the stratosphere of bringing more people in, but critically, it's incredible. So if the new one, which is part 2 of the last one, from what I've heard for the single, when they released Headstones, that had the most amount of people singing to it at Bloodstock out of all of the songs. So
okay,
and that's the new one. So yeah, Creeper have always been one of those bands that they've just been on the cusp of blowing up, but they've never quite gone over that line and gone sort of into the stratosphere where they kind of should be.
Yeah.
So who knows? In the next few years, we could be saying, "Oh my god, of course, Creeper could headline Slam Dunk." You know.
Okay.
And even next year, if they get put on Download, it will be really interesting to see where they're put on the lineup.
Yeah. No, it wasn't this year they played, was it? Was it the year before?
No,
I can't remember what year it was they played.
It was a few years ago now.
Okay, maybe 2023. I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one to keep an eye on for Slam Dunk as well.
Definitely.
2 left. I'm not sure if I said earlier, but I think we should look at Reading and Leeds, because it's around about the same size as Download, and some of the headliners that we might expect at Download might play there instead. I mean, some of these bands are going to be huge headlining, and some of these bands we would never have heard of before, ever. So it's interesting with Reading and Leeds. So in at least these posters are easy to read.
Well done, Reading. You've got readable posters, which in this festival world is actually a big deal. It's amazing how many festival posters you can't fucking read.
Yeah, well, it's obvious who's headlining. The other ones, it was like, all right, it looks a bit bigger font than the rest, but is that just their logo? Are they headlining, or I don't know. But yeah, so in 2016, headlining Reading and Leeds was Foal's Disclosure, or is that 2 different bands? Could be 2 different bands.
Foals and Disclosure.
Okay, yeah, because like on the Sunday night, they've got Biffy Clyro and Fallout Boy on the same line. I take back what I said a minute ago. Red Hot Chili Peppers on the Saturday anyway, on their own. They're definitely the headliner. Probably.
Well, we can talk about. Do you want to talk about them quickly? Because that's a band that I put in my video years ago about bands that just haven't played Download.
Yeah.
And huge bands that haven't played Download, and that is along with another band that I'm sure you'll come upon when we go further in, that you think, okay, they're not metal, but I mean, would anyone really complain if Chili's headline Download?
Yes, lots of people.
Well, I'm sure people would, but I mean, it's another band to tick off the list. It's another band from that era to say they're massive.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about me. I would quite like to see them there.
Who's going to complain about Chili's on the Sunday? Like, could you really complain about that? Like,
I saw a post about them headlining in one of the Download Facebook groups earlier or yesterday, and there was like over 200 comments within the first 6-7 hours, and all of the top ones were, no, we don't want that pedo at Download. Most of the top ones were. There were some saying that they're the worst band they've ever seen live.
I've heard that they are. I've heard that people have said you can see them on either day. You can see Chili's and you're like fucking awesome, or you could see Chili's and be like terrible. So I think there's no in between with them. They're either really good or they're really shit. So yeah, I guess it just depends.
Right. Yeah.
I've heard totally different things from different people. So just depends of when you're going to see them. Apparently, either really good or really bad. It's a gamble with Chili's. But I mean, me personally, if you had a great lineup with 2 first bands that were amazing, you had Chili's on the Sunday, I wouldn't see I wouldn't have an issue with that.
Yeah, and I think most people would be fine with it as well, other than the people who were complaining about him being a pedo. I was thinking in my head about maybe wording that a different way, but there's no other way to word it. Yeah, I've always thought they would go down well at Download, very well.
Yeah,
definitely. They never played at Download. So many good songs, ridiculous.
Yeah, I think one of those bands where people would forget, even if they were watching, they're like, "Oh, I'll watch Chili's." You'd probably know every single song they played almost, just because of the amount of hits they've had. And I'm a big Chili's fan, so it's different. So if you're not, then I guess you would look at it differently. But I still think it would be a great feather in Download's cap along the line to look back through the years and see Chili Pepper's name on there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and then Biffy and Fall Out Boy, which we've had both of those. I've known Biffy for a while. I mean, Biffy, was it 2022 they headlined? I know we're not going to get back.
No, but,
I don't think they'll headline.
I love Biffy as much as the next man, but I don't think Biffy will be headlining Download in the near future.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I don't like Biffy, and I don't think they will. Let's move on. Kasabian, Eminem, and Muse in 2017. A lot of people are saying we could get Muse again. I think they're more of a Reading and Leeds band than Download.
They are on my possible predictions. They're on my 10% probability list, but they're on there. Yeah.
I don't think we'll get them, but we have no idea what the hell they're going to do. Nobody predicted. What was it called? Fucking hell. Mine's gone. Thingy.
Thingy. What? Queens of the Stone Age? Yes.
Yeah. Them. It's just gone. My mind went. Nobody, not a single person, I don't think, predicted them. So, we don't know, but it's fun to have a look. I don't think we'll get Muse, but a lot of people want Muse. A lot of people would like, are predicting Muse as well. So I don't know. Let's move on again. 2018, this should be Fall Out Boy again, Kendrick Lamar, and Kings of Leon. None of them are going to happen. 2019, this one sold out apparently. The 1975, Post Malone and Foo Fighters.
That's pretty big.
That is pretty big.
That's pretty big. There's no wonder that sold out. But I mean, there you go. So you've said the F word. I was waiting for you to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure we'll ever get Foo Fighters at Download, but it would be one that would be welcome. And as they're on I want to say downward trajectory. I'm not. They're still one of the biggest fucking bands on the planet, one of the biggest selling bands on the planet as well. But I'd love nothing more. But I don't think that the money or the agreements or just anything will be in place for them to headline Download ever. I'd love to eat my words, but I mean, we could get them. Dave Grohl will be 70 when we get them. but we might get them down the line. But in the near future, I'm talking the next 5 to 7 years, I don't see Foo Fighters in our future.
No, and everyone has theories or definite reasons why that they've heard, which might not be so definite. I think I've heard someone say that they just don't want to play, or maybe they were booked to play and Download cancelled them for someone bigger, and Dave Grohl got fed up and was like, I ain't coming to Download now, or something stupid like that.
I doubt that would be the case, but yeah.
Unless we hear it from Download themselves, then we'll never know, I don't think.
Dude, who would you cancel Foo Fighters for that are bigger?
I don't know. Maybe
exactly.
Metallica.
That makes
Metallica. Maybe it's a Metallica year. Maybe it was like 2012.
I'm not sure that makes sense to me, but yeah.
I honestly could be remembering that wrong as well, because all of these stories just go in and out because they are very unlikely to be true.
Yeah.
But it was something along those lines.
Okay.
They had them booked or wanted to book them, decided not to, something like that. I don't know. Let's move on. I mean, the 1975, what's this? It was 2019, wasn't it, I said? If it wasn't for Rob Kellis, I still don't think I ever would have heard of the 1975. They would still be unknown to me, I think. I'd had no idea they were so big. Too busy listening to K-pop. Okay, so moving on. Was this 2021? Yeah, okay, skip 2020 again. Stormzy, Post Malone, and Liam Gallagher. 2022 was headlined by Dave. I don't think I'm reading that wrong. It just says Dave. Do you know who Dave is?
Probably.
Who's Dave?
No idea.
Arctic Monkeys and the 1975. Bring Me the Horizon. When do you think we're going to get Bring Me the Horizon back? Do you reckon it'll be this year? It probably won't be this year. I don't think it'll be this year.
I've got them on my 2026 predictions.
Have you? It'd be nice. Yep. I would absolutely love it. But they've only just headlined. Was it Reading the headline this year as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like they headlined Reading fairly often. Hang on, so yeah, they did Reading 2022, Download 2023, Skip 24, Reading again 2025. So we may get them next year if that is a pattern to go by.
Oh, it's definitely a possibility. I'm not saying that it's a nailed on one for me, but if they were to be announced, I wouldn't be surprised by it. I'd be excited by it, but also I wouldn't be surprised by it.
No. And I don't think, at least for the next 2-3 times that we have Bring Me the Horizon, it's always going to be welcomed by everyone.
Yes.
Like, they maybe not, they couldn't do them 2 years in a row, but they could do 2 years out of 3, probably. With
the only time it will get annoying is when every lineup is going to be Bring Me the Horizon, Sleep Token, and then underneath that, just a load of Sleep Token and Bring Me the Horizon clone bands.
Yeah.
That's the only time it will get, everyone will hate it.
Yeah. But Dave, I'm really intrigued by Dave. I want to see Dave.
Check out Dave, man.
Check out Dave.
Check it out, bro.
Yeah, none of them. We're going to get, 2023, if this is the right poster. Hang on. It's 2023. So it is Sam Fender, Killers, Billy Irish. But it looks like Main Stage West, Main Stage East. So they've got underneath that Foals, the 1975, and Imagine Dragons. So yeah, they must have 2 main stages. But anyway, none of them. Don't want any of them. Reading Festival 2024. This is a bit harder to read. Blink-182, Fred Again, Lana Del Rey, Liam Gallagher, Catfish and the Bottlemen, Jerry Cinnamon. So Blink-182, that's another one we've never had a download.
No. Yeah, I mean, I'd love it. I think it'd be great. I think that, I don't think it's anything anyone could really question. I think it would be a day that definitely sells out. I think all the downloaders that probably don't go to Reading and Leeds or don't go to Slam Dunk and get their pop punk fix, I think they would absolutely love it.
Yeah. It's I think we've probably spoken about it before, but who do you think's bigger, Blink-182 or Green Day? If you have an opinion on who's bigger.
For a festival, I'm not sure about Blink outside of the US, so
okay,
I'd say Green Day for a festival.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw Blink headline the Reading 2013 or 14. I can't for the life of me remember how big the crowd was, but it was pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
So either way, I think it'd be quite even between those two, between Dingy. But
yeah,
you get Blink or Green Day, your day's selling out.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Any of those bands.
Well, the main reason why I asked is because I would have always put Blink-182 above Green Day. I always thought they were maybe not way bigger, but bigger. And then I saw how welcomed Green Day was this year and how hyped it was. And I think that made me realise just how big Green Day actually were. I obviously knew they were big, but...
No, they're a huge band, and so are Blink-182.
Yeah, but yeah, Green Day were bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But yeah, if we got Blink-182, that would be a cool one. Although I can't see that happening at all. I don't know why. I just don't think... I can't see us getting Blink-182 for some reason. And I have no reason for that.
Okay.
But that was all of them. Oh, hang on. I didn't get 2025. Never mind.
Well, if you want to go by monthly listeners, and this is a huge difference, and I never knew the gap between these bands was so big. This is just going by Spotify numbers. Okay, you tell me which is which, right? One of them, and these are mega numbers. None of these are numbers to be sniffed at, right? One of them has 18 million monthly listeners.
Was that 18 million?
One of them has 38 million.
Oh, Green Day have got 38. Blink have got 18.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And I put that down to their American Idiot album. Blink, many people have probably dived into why that could be way more than I could possibly know. But in my opinion, I would say American Idiot came out, what was it, 2003, wasn't it? And it was fucking massive. No, a bit later than that, 2006.
It was 5, I think.
5. Blink-182's 2 biggest albums were something like 98, 99, Take Off His Pants and Jacket, and Enema of the State. And as far as I was aware, they didn't have any albums that blew them up after that. Whereas I think Green Day were just a little bit after. I mean, they were huge before that anyway, and then they had another fantastic album that massively blew them up, and I think they just retained the listeners from then, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I'd say both bands for the most part have been pretty consistent. They both had their flops. They both had their dull moments. But yeah, I get what you mean. But yeah, Green Day have definitely had the more recent uplift.
Yeah.
Than Blink have. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I think that's an interesting thing. I was talking to a guy at work recently about it, and with like Machine Head with Is There Anybody Out There? That song just massively blew up, and everyone knows it. And it's hard for an old band to do that, to release a new album or a new song that everyone's talking about more than their older stuff.
Yes.
And I was saying to him, like, I don't think Trivium have had that, because we were talking about Bloodstock, it was around the time. I don't think Trivium have had that since, it's not Ember to Inferno, what's the album called? Ascendancy. They I've not listened to much of them. Yes, they probably had amazing albums, but nothing.
Oh, they've had albums way better, I think, yeah.
But nothing as hyped as Ascendancy.
No.
I don't think. And I think that makes a huge difference. Like, it was just incredible that Machine Head managed to do that, I think.
Yeah,
release
definitely.
Something that everyone is talking about. But I feel like I can only talk on my own opinion. And times like this, I get that imposter syndrome. And it's like, there are people out there who know way, way more than me. Like, I don't
but that's
into these things.
Just the way, that's the way that you see it.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, that's how it looks. So yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting. Like, and I think that's something we should look at some point in the future. Bands that have had a second wind, I guess, a second coming, a second serving. If you're talking about Pacifarianism.
Yeah, definitely, we can do that. 100%.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We haven't talked about any predictions for Reading. Actually, we just talked about comparison with Download. It's hard to predict for Reading. The only reason why I included them was because it was an interesting chat because of Download. So, shall we look at we don't really need to look at the headliners for Download, but shall we look at them anyway?
I think that quickly before we get off Reading and Leeds, from talking to people that went this year, with it looked quite sparse in places, and people were saying that it wasn't the biggest attended year of Reading, and some people were saying that their sort of aiming towards young people has been a success in a way. But I think also it's driven a lot of people away from the festival. So I feel like with getting like Bring Me to headline, for instance, and people like that, I think they might be... you might see Reading and Leeds changing over the next 3 or 4 years. That's my prediction. Is that you'll see... I don't know what way it's going to go, but I feel like the lineups and the clientele that they're aiming towards, because the festival world itself is so oversaturated now. There's so many other options for young people to go to. Yeah, I'm not sure Reading is the hip, cool festival that they think they are anymore.
Okay.
So I think that people can go to other places to get that fix. So I think that you'll see Reading changing in the next few years. That's my only Reading prediction.
Yeah, that makes sense. And something you said then as well. Made me something I thought about a little while back. I think there is like we're from a generation that grew up with nu metal, and there was that whole boom in music, and everyone we knew either loved rock and heavy metal or rap and hip hop. That was blowing up as well at the time. I don't know as much about that side, but I feel like it's happening again now. And I really do think that there has been sort of multiple years of certain generations between now and then that a lot of people just weren't as fanatic about music as we were on average. If that makes sense. And again, there's probably studies on that.
I think you're right there. I think you're right. I also think that genres becoming more blurred has sort of caused things to go a bit skew-if for a while as well.
Yeah.
Just because genres aren't as defined as they were before. So that's why Download now is the way it is because how do you define what's alternative and what isn't anymore? Because the genres are so blurred. Where back in the day, you could say, right, that's definitely, the line stops there.
Yeah.
That's alternative, that's not. But now everything is more jumbled up, so it's harder to say what fits into a nice little tiny, neat little box and what doesn't. So I think that's had an effect on festival lineups as well.
Yeah, it definitely has. We've seen it since Download came back, getting so much alt pop. There is a time in the future where one of those bands are headlining, probably. No. Like I said, just a few kind of shower thoughts that are only in my head. I've not researched, so don't listen to me too much on them. I don't.
No, but yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's good. Some interesting stuff in there.
Yeah. So we don't really need to look at Download, but we should look anyway. Yeah, let's do it anyway.
Okay.
So 2016 was Rammstein, Black Sabbath, and Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, I think we'll probably see them 3 more times between 2016 and 2025. But yeah, they're a big one for next year.
They're on my prediction.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I'd love to see them again.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them, I don't know, on the Sunday or something, Saturday maybe. But I think that 2022 was, I don't know, probably within the top 3 best Maiden festival sets I've seen.
Yeah. I loved it as well. I really did.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah. Rammstein, you said last episode about the allegations about him and everything. I've not heard anything about any of that for ages, so I assume
I believe it was all put to bed and all that sort of stuff. I think they just sort of let things breathe for a while, and then Rammstein will be back. There's no doubts about that at all.
Yeah. But also before we carry on, I think I already might have said once before, but like we can make predictions. Everyone, like the biggest. No, we'll talk about when we finish these, but it could easily be like Deftones, Evanescence, and Liam Lynch, like people who nobody is expecting. Like it's ridiculous. So who knows what it's going to be this year? There are there is one particular lineup that a lot of people are expecting, which we'll talk about, I suppose, when we get through this. Mm-hmm. System of a Down, Biffy Clyro, and Aerosmith in 2017. Let's talk about System of a Down for a second. I think, I've gone back and forward on them a lot. Like I said, I think when I wasn't interested, I thought that they had mostly stopped doing gigs. I thought they just weren't touring at all anymore. So I was like, why do we want them to come back for an extra show just for us? I'd rather have somebody else. But now I've seen that they've been doing shows in America again. I'm like, actually, I wouldn't mind watching them again and reminiscing some of the older songs.
Yeah, I just for me, they're not the most exciting of headliners. If they were announced,
they never
there's a lot of System of a Down that I like, but they're not. That won't excite me in any way.
No. Do you think they'd come back to do anything other than headline?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. It depends on who they're mates with and who they would be willing to play under. I could see a Slipknot headline with a System support maybe, if they're buddy. I know they're all from the same sort of era.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they came back and headlined. But the only thing with System of a Down is, they don't have any new material.
No.
And I know you don't have to have new material, but, there's only a certain set of songs that they can play. And it's all the same songs that we've heard over and over again. So
yeah,
that does nothing for me. So I'd be like, fine. But I'm sure that at some point they will, possibly.
Yeah. That is an interesting... I've probably said that so many times this episode. An interesting thing that they're still happy to go out and play shows, but don't want to write a new album to put out. Because it's a similar thing with Cold. I know we've spoken about them a few times. Like they haven't released an album since I want to say it was like 2011. I think it was Superfiction, but like they're touring constantly in America still. They don't come over here. They were never that big over here. But yeah, like he was such an incredible songwriter, I thought. But they're only touring, not actually writing any more music, which I don't get. I suppose album sales don't make bands that much money anymore, maybe. So they'd rather just go out touring.
That's true, but if you bring it, it's like we were talking about before, you might be one of those bands that sort of, like now is the perfect time to reconnect with young people if you're from that sort of, genre. So you could put out a song now and it could blow up and you're as big, if not big, as big, excuse me, if not bigger than you were before. So it kind of always makes sense for me for bands to make new music. A lot of bands' endings are actually much better than their beginnings as well. So I don't know. It never really makes sense for me when bands don't make music.
Yeah, I would be interested. I mean, loads of people have interviewed System of a Down and asked those questions. I think it was a guitarist said he's just not interested in making music with Surge or something, maybe something along those lines. But because Cold aren't that big, I've not seen anybody asking them or any interviews or anything. So I would be interested to know. Moving on to 2018, Avenged Sevenfold, Guns N' Roses, and Ozzy. When did Avenged last play? Was it last year?
2024.
2024. Yeah, it was last year. Okay, so they won't be back just yet. Guns N' Roses, I absolutely hope not. I absolutely loved them in 2018. I've seen a lot of people saying that they were terrible then. I've seen a lot of people saying they were terrible, and a lot of people saying they were amazing. So I don't really know how people judged it.
I've always heard conflicting things about that gig. Some people being like, "Oh my god, it was the greatest!" Like Fair Payton, they played for like fucking 3 hours. And then other people were like, "Oh my god, it was just fucking horrendous," and it was just a bunch of covers with a few Guns N' Roses songs thrown in. Yeah,
I was drinking a lot of wine, I guess, at that point. But he didn't.
Dude, anything sounds good when you're drinking a lot of wine. Okay. I can vouch for that.
Cool, but yeah, I don't. Maybe I was drunk, but I don't think he sounded too bad either at that point. Obviously, we've heard what he sounds like now with from Back to the Beginning, and it's only 7 years later. Which I mean, I suppose 7 years is a long time. I guess a lot can happen in that time. But
especially when you're that old, things definitely change. So totally,
but his voice is the most. I was about to say his voice is the most iconic thing about the band, but Slash as well. His voice is so unique though. You can't really. I can't listen to him without that voice. I don't think we're going to get Guns N' Roses, but who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
2019 was Def Leppard, Slipknot, and Tool. Is this the second time Tool headlined?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second and probably the last.
I didn't see Tool, so I don't know. 2019 was a wet year again, wasn't it? So I probably didn't see a lot of this lineup, if I'm completely honest. Def Leppard have just announced another tour, haven't they? But prices are very high, so I can't see us getting them. Slipknot, you see us getting Slipknot?
I could see us getting Slipknot any year. They're just one of those bands that just seems to pop up at download, and no one really minds. So I would, no surprise if Slipknot popped up. I'm not sure we get them. I probably think next year or the year after, maybe. But again, if they're one of those bands, just like Maiden, they could pop up whenever they want a download. So.
Yeah, I guess it depends on their album as well. I haven't heard much about that for a while, but they obviously came off of their record label.
Yeah, I haven't delved into any news, and they're touring hard. They've been touring hard this year.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Well, they've been touring the 25th anniversary of Slipknot, because they're all dressed in the original outfits and the new version of the original masks and stuff. So
okay, I hadn't even seen that much, if I'm honest. Cool. Talk. Yeah, we probably won't get them again. Then 2022. Oh yeah, I didn't put the pilot on here. So we didn't skip 2 years, did we? 2022. Kiss, Iron Maiden, Biffy Clyro. We ain't gonna get Kiss. It just made me think we could have been talking about the second band down, because Korn sub-headlined to Biffy Clyro on this year, and now they've headlined. We'll go back and look at them, actually. After we've done this, we'll look at the second row, and then we won't look at any others after that, if you're happy to.
Sure.
Yeah. Nothing too much to talk about from that one. 2023, Metallica, Bring the Horizon, Metallica, Slipknot. I don't think we'll get Slipknot this recent to the last thing, actually. I forgot they played this year. And then last year, Queens of the Stone Age, Fall Out Boy, and Avenged. I don't think we'll get Queens of the Stone Age again, not as a headliner. Fall Out Boy, they might become a regular.
They come back. I think they'll come back. Yeah, I think that you'd see them at some point, I would have thought.
Yeah. I can't remember if they were headliners of Reading or Leeds any or many times.
They were a couple of times.
They were.
Yeah, so I could easily see them coming back, definitely. Obviously not this year, but in the near future, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I could see that as well. And Avenged, again, not yet. Last year's Green Day, Sleep Token and Call. Let's ignore that. Let's go through and look at the sub-headliners on the main stage, actually. Because people are talking about Deftones a lot. So, 2016, Korn, Deftones, Nightwish. Korn obviously have headline now. Deftones, could you see them as a headliner?
Deftones are very much having a second wind at the moment. Like, they are very much in the consciousness. And, Chino said it in an interview like last week. They're bigger than they've ever been.
Yeah.
They're playing places bigger than they've ever played, even back in the day. Like, Deftones are bigger than ever. So the new generation of people that listen to alternative music have really, really glued to Deftones. I think it's because a lot of modern metal and alternative music has a lot of Deftones in it.
You said that.
I've said it before, over the last few years. A lot of new bands recently, I hear coming up. Yeah, a lot of bands I hear coming up. I'm always like, that's such a Deftones riff, or that kind of Deftones-y, or there's such a big influence on the alternative world. It's all coming full circle for them now, because all the kids are going, oh, I really like this band. Oh, that kind of sounds like their Deftones band, or that's influenced by a Deftones band. And then all that's happened, and, people on TikTok love them. They're great live bands, so people want to go and see them live. So, Deftones are very much having a second wind. Headlining Download, I mean, at this point, a Download, anything is a possibility. Yeah. And I don't think anyone would look at it and go, like, if it works, great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them recently, so I don't know live what they're saying. I don't know how good they are still. I don't know what sets they're playing. And the new album's just come out, and I'm going to give that time to breathe into the consciousness before I could tell you that Deftones could headline a festival.
Yeah.
But like you've said multiple times, we have no idea what happens at Download now. So I could, if Deftones came, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of Deftones. But from from what other people are saying, they could absolutely headline a Friday and then have two already well-known headliners Saturday and Sunday. I would say quite easily at the moment.
I mean, as a huge Deftones mark, I would love nothing more than Deftones to headline.
Yeah.
And I'd be trying to get as far to the front as possible and take in the dream that is Deftones, but I'm not sure how other people, the general consensus, what that would be.
Yeah. But yeah, it sounds like a lot of people would love it.
Deftones are up to 17 million monthly listeners. So yeah. That's pretty fucking, that's a meaty chunk of Spotify.
Yeah, yeah. Moving on to the next year then, we had Prophets of Rage, A Day to Remember, and Ultra Bridge. As far as my knowledge goes, Prophets of Rage and A Day to Remember are nowhere near big enough to headline. I don't know, I can't say for either of those. Ultra Bridge, I've seen a lot of people wanting Ultra Bridge as a headliner. They were good in 2022 when we saw them, whatever the year was. It was definitely a year.
23.
When, yeah.
Yeah, but no, they'll be nowhere near the headline scene. No.
Okay, doke. Cool, let's go. Butterfly Valentine. Blackstone Cherry, and Marilyn Manson. Well, we know Bullet for My Valentine want to headline.
Yeah, I mean, we said this after in the review for this year. 1 or 2 more big albums, and once all these granddad bands don't exist anymore, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have Deftones and Bullet and Biscuit headlining Downloads. But
yeah,
it's just not quite the time yet for that to happen.
No, it's an odd thing, because when it started in 2003, looking at bands that sort of started 20 to 25 plus previously was 1980. Iron Maiden started in 77. So
yeah,
that was the same time period. Like, Iron Maiden were already massive. All of the bands that were headlining then were huge, and it was obvious that they could. Whereas looking back at some of these bands, Bullet, Marilyn Manson, to us it feels like we're not quite sure if they're ready yet. I guess probably because these granddad bands, as you said, haven't left the scene yet.
Exactly, they're not out the door.
Yeah, that is an odd thing to think about.
I'm sure it'll be like I can just imagine this sort of like this scene, like all of the bands from that sort of 2000s generation and 90s generation. They're like in a room, right, and like all the granddads are standing by the door, like your Maidens, your Priests. Yeah, your Def Leppards, all your big bands like that, and they've all got like alcohol and stuff behind their backs, and they're waiting to throw the party.
Yeah,
but the granddads aren't quite out of the room yet, and they're just slowly kiss by, sing by. They're all sort of slowly leaving. Finally, when the last one shuts that door, they're all breaking out the champagne, dude, because they're like, "Here we fucking go. We're gonna headline everything."
Yeah.
Now. They're just waiting for them to go.
Yeah. What about Marilyn Manson? He's just come back around. And I think a lot of people like the album he just brought out.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, I mean, like we said before, he's sober. The performances are fucking incredible. He's another one that I think that one more album that's good, and he might be bigger than he's ever been and playing absolutely gigantic places.
Yeah.
Because he is already, but, I seriously think that he won't be, I don't know if he'll be headline status, but he'll definitely be over to play big festivals, 100%.
Cool. The 2019 Slash with Miles Kennedy, Die Antwoord, Smashing Pumpkins.
Fucking hell, this festival
weird,
has scraped the bottom of the fucking barrel sometimes, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Let's have a look. Rob Zombie, Hellstorm, and Slayer are headlining the second stage. That would have been better. Right, let's keep going. A Day to Remember again, Deftones again, and Korn again. Yeah, we talked about all of them. I was like, part of me forgot how much they recycle bands. Probably because of how they've been having new headliners recently. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. There's new stuff. They don't recycle. Mm-hmm. Literally just saw Shinedown a couple things ago. Yeah, Shinedown 2018, Shinedown 2022. That's something I want to do at some point. Try it. I don't know how I'd do it. I'd have to make like databases or something and work out the two most alike years. Similar years. That'd be funny. Anyway, Ultra Bridge again, Architects. Oh, hang on, this was a weird one because Evanescence are after. It says Bring Me the Horizon, Architects, Evanescence, but they had headlined the second stage, so I can't remember who was actually sub-headlining there. Let's move on. Royal Blood, The Offspring, Limp Bizkit. The Offspring are never going to headline again. I don't know much about Royal Blood, but Andy did say the next time you're coming back, you're headlining to Limp Bizkit immediately after they finished playing. Mm-hmm. But then the next year, Andy kind of stepped down from his role, so kind of offered a promise that he couldn't keep there. I mean, I know he's still influential.
A band very much having a second wind.
Yeah.
I look like Deftones. Bizkit are playing to the amount of people they never have played before. So I think it's very, very plausible that within the next few years, Limp Bizkit will be coming back to headline Download. There's no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at these ones from this year. Weezer, Shinedown, and Bullet for My Valentine. We've obviously talked about Bullet for My Valentine. I want Shinedown as a headliner. We spoke about them in the reviews, going from a band who has got all the charisma, all the crowd interaction, to Sleep Token, who has none of that. And it kind of like that's what you kind of want to see. Some people want to see in a headliner. I haven't seen many people talking about wanting them as a headliner, though. Not as many as I would have hoped or thought.
I don't think that they're ready to headline. They'll need a glow up of some kind before headlining, I think.
Yeah, put some masks on, maybe. That'll get you there. It's just me being biased, I think, and hoping. I think as long as they carry on, 10 years' time, they might be there. Might be. Headlining.
Don't see it in the near future, but in the post-download Donington days, I can see it.
Yeah. Another band having a second wind right now, Linkin Park.
Fuck me. Second fart, more like.
Should have seen his
wind out the other
face
fucking
then.
side.
He was absolutely sure. I know exactly who you're talking about. Linkin Park. Oh my God, what the fuck have you just said? Who do you think I was talking about?
No, I just went, okay.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't thinking.
I thought you were like, yeah, we're on the same wavelength. I know you're talking about.
No. No.
Absolutely. I mean, the lineup that most people that's going around a lot, that most people are saying at the moment is going to be Linkin Park, Iron Maiden, and Ghost. A lot of people are saying that as if it's absolute fact, which is weird. And it could absolutely end up being like that. But Linkin Park... Oh, hang on. No, never mind. Linkin Park could easily go to Reading instead.
100%, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, they're definitely in my high chance predictions for next year for headliner, 100%. But like you said, they could easily go to Reading and Leeds and get the same amount of people going. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah, we don't actually know how closely Download and Reading and Leeds work together, or if there's many overlaps in the staff. Because if Reading is falling behind on sales or, trying to change it, maybe they'll go, all right, we'll get Foo Fighters and Linkin Park for Reading, and Download won't have a sniff.
Yeah, it could happen. But yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. Again, I wouldn't really care if they headlined. It doesn't really, I'm not on board with this version of Linkin Park. I know I've said it on here a million times, so I won't repeat myself. But yeah, so for me, that would be a big boo.
Yeah.
They'd be getting a boo.
Yeah, and
they'd be getting a Harry Potter Lego boo.
What?
That's a deep cut reference for any of you guys that have played Lego Harry Potter. Boo.
Okay. I would quite enjoy Linkin Park. I really would. There's going to be a lot of people like you, and there's going to be a lot of people like me, I expect. And I think it will happen. I think it will be Linkin Park. I don't know where everyone's getting Iron Maiden from. Everyone's saying Iron Maiden for last year as well. So, I don't know.
Well, it's Iron Maiden. They could, every prediction you do for Download should always include Iron Maiden and Slipknot.
Yeah.
Because at some point you will be right. So, I don't think that Ghost and Maiden... I don't think Download would have Ghost and Maiden on the same weekend. Okay. I think that's almost too similar. Because where Ghost get the young crowd, they get the old crowd as well because of the type of music that they make. So I feel like you're nullifying how varied your lineup could be by having Ghost and Maiden at the same time. So I think you'll get one or the other, but you won't get both. I think that Linkin Park is probably the biggest possibility. Then Ghost. It's tough between Ghost and Maiden, but I don't think you get both of those. It'll be more than likely it'll be Linkin Park and Maiden, someone else, or Linkin Park and Ghost and someone else. That's what I would think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but like I said, people are just saying that they're putting posts out there saying it is this lineup, no matter what. There's so many people doing it, and it's weird to see it this year.
No one knows. They don't know.
But yeah, what would you think of a Ghost headliner though, if we did get them?
It'd be one of the most exciting days for me ever.
Yeah, cool.
We've been talking about it. They've been ready for a while now. It just the Download has to get them, obviously, and then just pull the trigger. There'll be no regrets because they're such a huge band, such a great performing band, performance-wise. I don't totally behind the Ghost set.
Yeah, it's a strange one. We don't know. I was going to say it depends how they feel about the Sleep Token set and how it didn't go down that well, or maybe not as well as they expected. But do they know that? They are probably so besotted with Sleep Token. They're like, yeah, it was amazing. That was incredible.
They know.
Yeah, if they know, then will they try and take another risk?
Ghosts isn't the same sort of gamble though, because Ghost are a headline performance band.
Yeah.
So even if you have people standing there that aren't necessarily Ghost fans, Papa will talk to the crowd. He will make funny jokes. They will not take themselves too seriously. They will have things happening on stage, all different sorts of stuff, dancers, all sorts of shit. So it's, I think the Sleep Token one is very much performance art. Ghost is very much performance art, but it's performance art in a we want to include the crowd in everything that's happening way.
Yeah.
Whereas Sleep Token is what on stage is the performance. There could be one person in the crowd. You're still going to get the same performance. Whereas Ghost, the crowd are very much part of the performance.
Okay.
So I don't think it's even near as much of a gamble as Sleep Token. Not even close.
Okay. Cool. Yes, I didn't know that. I wouldn't have been able to say anywhere near as much as that. Cool. Trying to think. I don't actually have any. So for me, I'm asking all these questions. I'm not actually answering. So for me, I've said probably a few times I'm not the biggest fan of Ghost. There was a time when every time I say that, you're like, I say that again. I don't dislike Ghost. It's just not my kind of thing. But I could see them being as changing for a lot of people. Maybe not necessarily for me, but as what's the right words? As changing as Bring Me the Horizon were. That's not the right word. I don't know what it is. It's getting late. But yeah, I kind of don't want to say that because I was saying the same thing for Sleep Token last year. Maybe I'll watch them and maybe I'll love them by the end of it. But it seemed like not many people had that. Whereas Ghost, they're an upbeat band. Like you said, they'll interact with the crowd. So I think they could convert people into fans probably quite a lot easier than Sleep Token.
Definitely.
So, yeah. And we keep hearing people saying, like, everyone has that moment for Ghost where they'll hear something and go, oh, they're my favourite band now. And they'll hear one song and go, oh, I get it now. And then...
I get it, yeah. I think it takes a while for you to come around to Ghost. But like you said, there is that one moment when you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Okay.
Now I must listen to the whole back catalogue.
Yeah, you could do that. But I think people might get that live. They might go, oh, okay. Even if they don't become the biggest fan afterwards, I think they might be able to go, I can understand why people bang on about this band so much.
I try to think. I don't actually have anybody else written down, although there's probably loads of bands that could be predicted. Do you want to go through your list?
Yeah, I mean, I've just got some wish list bands that I know that could headline, could play. They're releasing new stuff, etc. But that was all the headliners that I had. But other bands, I did have Deftones on my list, not as a headliner, but just possibly playing.
Yeah,
because they've released a new album. I put Skin Dread and then a shitload of question marks, possibly. Then I've got some wishlist stuff, which are bands that are kind of releasing stuff, touring. So I've got Incubus is a big one for me. They're just starting up again, doing loads of new stuff. They haven't played since 2008, which is insane for a band that popular. So I think that might be a good little one. One that's always on my list that they never seem to play download, which is Papa Roach. I still can't understand why this band never fucking plays download. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I could.
They're such a huge band. It's crazy.
When was the last
they haven't played since 2013.
We talked about it in our thing, didn't we? Bloody hell, yeah.
And again, another band that Papa Roach always seemed to be like to having a second wind.
Yeah.
But recently, every single single they release just keeps on being sick, and the kids love it. So yeah, Papa Roach is a no-brainer.
The kids love it.
Get them on. The kids love it. They do.
Phrase.
They just.
We're old men.
Papa Roach are one of those bands that just resonate with youth.
Yeah.
No matter what generation it is. They just seem to resonate with young, angry teenagers.
Because Jacoby Shaddix is constantly posting on social media as if he is still a young teenager.
There you go. Exactly. It's like a 55-year-old man. Get a grip. Anyway.
But honestly, no, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, he knows what he's doing, and he's doing it fantastically.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it's great.
And he seems like a really cool dude as well, which makes it even cooler that everyone says he's a really cool dude. So
yeah,
it makes me like him even more. Prodigy is a big one for a lot of people as well, because they are touring again, and I think it would be really nice to have them back at Download.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're a great, they're in the alternative consciousness. I've got In Flames down, who are due to actually going back in the studio for another album soon. A lot of people had them down on their Bloodstock predictions for next year, but that did not come to fruition. So I wouldn't be surprised to see In Flames. And alongside with them, band that goes hand in hand, Killswitch Engage as well. They're touring next year. No, they're touring at the end of this year. So wouldn't be surprised to see them playing festivals next year as well. So I think Killswitch could be a possibility somewhere on the Download list. And then the last two I've got is Soulfly, who are releasing a new album at the end of this year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see Soulfly on there somewhere. And for us Soulfly heads, that would be incredible.
Yeah. Oh.
And then last of all, I've got... Go on.
I was going to say, we said we were going to talk about them before we started recording, and then forgot. But you listened to the new song, was it? New song or album, you said? Yeah,
no, new track. The new album's coming out. I think it said October.
Okay.
But they put the track list out and they released a new song, and it's a beast. It's a fucking beast.
Yeah, I haven't listened to
but
it.
Again, they've been a consistent... They're just a consistently good band. Like, they've been releasing music pretty much ever since 1998, constantly, almost. So, again, a good hard-working band.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I can't say I haven't really listened to much Soulfly for a long time. But I did say there was a song I was going to talk about earlier as well. A new song by Saliva. And it is a full-on diss track of the old singer, Josie Scott. It's got so much.
Oh, my God.
It's like, because Josie Scott's come out a few times saying something about the band, because there's nobody in it from the original lineup anymore. Didn't hear much from Saliva for a while, and then it is just like, it's called Hit 'Em Where It Hurts, and it's got so many lyrics and callbacks to songs from when Josie was in the band. It's just, it's incredible.
Ridiculous, but cool. I'd like to hear it. I'm going to listen to that one.
Yeah.
Also, I might have already written a Soulfly ranked script.
Okay.
So you might be able to. That might give you a little inkling into what Soulfly albums are really good.
Yeah.
So you can jump on the bandwagon. But anyway, and finally, one of my favorite bands of all time, set to release a new album this month, and they'll probably do a big tour as well. Paradise Lost. So I'd like to see Paradise Lost on a Download lineup within the near future, but next year would be good.
Yeah, they used to play a lot in the early years. I'm sure I saw them 2 or 3 times in the early years.
I can see them easily being like third stage headliners, easy.
Yeah.
Which for me would be a dream. So.
Yeah, I think I was right at the front for one of them. Could have been 2006 or 5. Well, I can't remember what year it was. That was very cool.
Nice.
Or 2000, could have been 2007. Because I think Napalm Death played after them. Oh, I can't remember. Nickelback. Damn, I was going to start this differently. I was going to say about Venga Boys, and I was going to watch for your face reactions, because they said that they tried getting Venga Boys for last year, or it might have even been, no, it would have been 2023. They tried getting Venga Boys for 2024, couldn't get them, and they managed to get them for 2025. I know they've been trying to get Avril Lavigne as well. That's where I was going with it. It wasn't actually about Venga Boys, but they've been trying to get Avril Lavigne and couldn't. So maybe they've managed to get her for next year, which could potentially be a Nickelback year as well. I don't know. I don't know if Avril Lavigne and Nickelback normally go out together, or if they try and work tours together or festivals together. Not something I've looked at, but possible. We've never had Nickelback.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're talking to a person who would love nothing more than Nickelback to headline Download. Just do it.
Yeah, I'd love it as well.
Fuck everyone. Do it. Listen, they should do this, right? To just to annoy everyone. 1 year should be Creed on the Friday, Nickelback on the Saturday, Maiden on the Sunday.
Cool, yeah.
Dream lineup.
Literally, when they play How You Remind Me, not a single person in that field would not be singing.
True. Yeah.
Every single person. I haven't listened to that for ages. And when I do hear it, I'm like, forget how good this song was.
Mm-hmm.
How much I loved it.
They got songs on songs on songs.
Yeah. Photograph, actually, that was probably almost as big as How You Remind Me.
Yeah, man. Songs on songs on songs. Yeah. What a band.
Yeah. So many that I forget about all the time. That'd be amazing. But yeah, for me as well, any bands that I haven't seen for a long time, like my usual Swedish roster of bands. I've been trying to get the Unguided over. I've been trying to get the organisers' attention by wearing Unguided shirts on stage. With that, I mean, I'm sure they liked Sonic Syndicate because they played in 2010. So maybe, but yeah, general. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt. Self Deception have been touring a hell of a lot, and they've been getting on a lot of festivals. Just trying to think if there's any old bands from like when we were growing up that we haven't seen for a little bit.
There's probably loads. If we were to do a list, there's probably a load of them.
Yeah, loads on my Swedish roster that could come back, or I would love, but they're more likely at Bloodstock, if I'm honest. So I don't know how likely they are. But yeah, I think that's all of our predictions. There's probably a few headliners that we've talked about before that we've missed off this time. But like we've said loads of times, it's a gamble. We never know who they're going to get at all. So it could be anybody. It could be the obvious one that everyone's posting about, Ghost, Linkin Park, Iron Maiden. It could be none of them.
True.
But what is it now? Just hit September, so got about 2 months. Months.
3rd of September. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of months until we find out, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we should call it that. Was there anything else you wanted to chat about before we go?
Nope.
Fantastic. Well, then we will say a huge thank you to our Patreons, as always. And some of you may not have seen, we put a video out for the Patreons only, about a week ago, with the two of us watching through the two parody songs of Pull Harder on Your Strings of Your Martyr and Imperium. Hilarious. And we're gonna do loads more. We're gonna start watching films, like we said earlier, with The Matrix and some other things. We're gonna watch some Futurama for Hypnotoad. Loads of things we're going to be doing in the future. So if you want to join the Patreon, you can do, and join this wonderful list of these wonderful people. You can find a Linktree in the episode description wherever you're listening to this. You can find a link to the Patreon in there. Go have a look, see if you want to join and support us. Every penny we get goes back into the podcast. And join this wonderful list with Duncan Scott, Joe Butler, Mike Ferris, Andy Taylor, Liam Hopwood, Tom West, Vicky Rutter, Ethan Brown, Matthew, Chris Henderson, Scoot, Ben Sacconi, Henry Richardson, Chris Hambridge, and James. You guys are all massive legends. Thank you so much for the support you continuously give us. We are so grateful. Like I said, we can do absolutely amazing things with it. Simon, do you want to tell people what's going on with your YouTube at the moment? Any plans for the future?
Yeah, I'm just writing a shitload of scripts, filming loads of videos. So there's no video coming this week, but then next week videos will resume at a weekly pace as per normal. And there's loads of cool videos. I've got them all planned out for the rest of the year. And yeah, loads of cool shit to come. I won't give too much away, but yeah, lots of cool shit.
Awesome. We've got to go. Thank you all so much for listening. So it's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.